say something about the Doctor. I didn't have anything planned.
Oh,
Do.
old Gatwa. I like him as the Doctor. Someday I'll learn to pronounce his name right. But I think he's a fun Doctor. I wish his stories were a little less generic. But I will say it's been a step up from the Jodie Whittaker era, which was often very boring. So like, even though I've not really been blown away besides the Moffat ep by most Nakuti Gatwa episodes. It's sort of nice to be back to like being kind of excited to check out the new Who.
Maybe I really gotta go watch some of those Jodie Whittaker episodes like fully because I really dislike the the version of the Doctor we've been getting in the Guatwi Nakuti
I
episodes.
agree.
Yeah, and like if Jodie Whittaker's ones are worse, then man, they gotta be really really bad because like I do not care for most of what we get nowadays of Doctor Who.
Here's the thing. I think Jodie Whittaker's are more interesting conceptually, and if you like look at the arc of her series overall, it like if you were just reading an episode by episode description, you'd be like, okay, this is at least trying stuff and like, some
hmm
cool mix of like the new and the old and like I like her companions a lot, but in practice, man, I find her episodes like make me real sleepy. Like they should be some of them should have like warnings about not operating heavy machinery while
I
you watch. Whereas
have to.
Nakuti, they at least go fast. There's the Murray Gold doing his, exciting
I mean, I
what have you
guess to
music.
that extent, like Nakuti himself is really fun to watch. Like I guess I can't really say that like he's a boring Doctor. Like my problem, and we'll get into it because we'll be watching the latest episode of Doctor Who, the third episode as
But
it came
first,
out. But before that, we're gonna watch Old Who because a long time ago we watched the original Doctor Who episode one, and we never went back. So we're gonna do Cave of Skulls before we go to
yes.
the new one's in the well or something like that. It's
Yeah, it
something
seems to be
along.
called Well,
Yeah,
season 2, episode 3 of the Nakuti era, which I guess like comic books, they're doing like the reboot of the type of the numbering. Um,
yeah.
I think it's technically like season 16 of the new series and season like 30 or 40 something of Doctor Who overall. But
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I mean, I guess like to the credit, like he is an interesting doctor,
yeah.
and like I mean, I do generally enjoy watching him. I just really, I don't know, I really hated that cartoon episode. We're gonna get
Yeah,
into it, but
I actually enjoyed 60 to 70% of that cartoon episode. Mainly the cartoon himself, though, who I had my problems with him. I enjoyed him as a villain, as a bit of animation. I liked the uh, cosmic stuff that it got into with him. But I think your problem with the Nakuti era is that he's a very ineffectual doctor, which honestly you're probably not gonna care for the Jodie era too much more, because she often like, there's some freaking part where the master's like got her trapped in some kind of thing, and he's like, "Now get on all fours and kiss my feet or whatever," and she does it,
ugh,
and I'm like, "Man, that
that's
sucks."
horrible. Yeah, that's really.
Yeah, yeah,
It's really weird how like, and I guess it's just like Moffat has really spoiled me because like you are right. I do not. One of my biggest problems with the Nakuti era is that like that dude is constantly getting saved and
yeah.
constantly getting rescued, and like there are whole episodes where he doesn't really do anything. He didn't. I mean, the cartoon episode literally ends with somebody blowing up a bunch of film stock to let the light in. And it's just you were telling me about the original light, uh, God
Yeah,
person
from
that
the
he
Seventh
fought.
Doctor, which we'll get to in 15 years at the rate we're doing these classic episodes. But yeah, and that episode is way cool.
Yeah, and like the way you described how he defeated him And it's such a classic like Doctor Who defeat, and like a
Yeah.
really good way of handling it. And I just miss that. And like it's always boggled. We've talked about this before, but it will never not boggle my mind that people don't love the Moffat era, because that's like the heart of what Doctor Who is to me. And I know I'm biased in that. It's my favorite Doctor. It's my favorite
Well, I mean, not
showrunner.
necessarily, because you watched it from the Eccleston. Like, we watched it in order. So, like, if you loved the RTD, the Russell T Davies era, you would have loved it. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
it was not till the Matt Smith that you really fell for Doctor Who as a show.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, full disclosure. People tell me, and I know we've talked about this before previously when we've done Doctor Who, but people tell me that David Tennant is their favorite Doctor, and that boggles my mind. Like, I don't think he's
Yeah.
a horrible Doctor, but like the idea that that era of Doctor Who is really what gets people going is just crazy to me. Like, it just especially when you factor in the rows of it all, and as we were talking about, like that version, quote unquote, the what is it, the he's the 14th, right, when he comes back, when he
Oh yeah, yeah.
regenerates into.
That little, like, the anniversary specials that they did last year, or the year before, yeah, where he
Yeah,
was
like that Doctor
just
is.
Tennant again, but older, is the
Yeah,
gimmick for the 14th Doctor. Yeah.
that Doctor is the worst Doctor. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we hashed it out in chat. That Doctor
Yeah, 14th
is
Doctor, I think, is by all objective metrics the worst Doctor, just by virtue of he's just Tennant but lamer. Is
yeah,
like his thing. It's no good. And then yeah, that's both in terms of like the writing, and then as we were discussing in terms of like what the Doctor in universe does, he's
yeah,
got to be the worst because he's the only Doctor who gives up on being a Doctor.
yeah. It doesn't
Like
it doesn't suffer
actually retires.
doesn't suffer any consequences of it either, because they just give him another
No,
TARDIS. So like, it's just crazy. But like that Doctor emulates, I think, the worst parts of Tennant's Doctor. And again, if I get it, Tennant's a lot of people's favorites, but like that
yeah,
dude has never been like my favorite, because he does have a lot of qualities that I don't consider to be very doctory.
yeah.
But yeah,
Little too dashing. He's a little too like emotionally invested with the companions in a way, and obviously, like, like Matt Smith, like, and Capaldi, like, married River Song and lived with her for many years. But even that, like, makes more sense than Tennant's companion fixation. I don't know. It
yeah.
feels different.
Well, because Rose is just a normal ass girl. Like, there's
Yeah, and
nothing
they
interesting
make that
about
a
her.
big point.
Yeah, it's
We can jump into it, but I did also want to add the the tenant of it all is that, yeah, it also just will never not bother me that, like, the curator says that in the future you might be revisiting old faces, but just the old favorites,
mm-hmm.
and that the first old favorite he went back to was Tennant. That's
Yeah. mm-hmm.
like that bugs me,
Which is
and that
really the only one you can do, because like you can't really, that line in that special is very strange, because like it doesn't really work, because the only person he could really revisit is either Matt Smith again in the future, or David Tennant, because you can't go, because all the other doctors are very old.
yeah,
So it's very hard to like be like, oh, you're gonna go revisit, unless they do what they did with the first Doctor and just recast them. Would it be funny if
yeah.
like Wouldn't it be funny if Nakuti turns back into the fourth Doctor, but it's played by a completely different person, and they
Yeah.
just
Or
pretend like
hell,
that was.
Tom Baker's still around in his 80s. He seemed pretty like weak when he was doing the. I mean, he still rules like that. That curator scene is so good, and him and Matt Smith have like amazing chemistry in
Yeah.
that part. But he is 91 years old. But hey, why not have Nakuti turn back into the Fourth Doctor, and we get three specials of him on an adventure, and then at the end, he bigenerates again. Like, I think I've joked about that, where I want now every previous Doctor to be split out in a bigeneration. Like, if Tennant gets it, they
Oh.
all should deserve it.
Mm. That would be so fucking funny. I would enjoy that.
Every 10 years, they just
What if he
like
started?
cells they split.
Do you think he'll ever turn into like a companion? Like, you ever think like Nakuti will like say Nakuti goes through his regeneration and out pops Rory Williams or one of the other companions? He's just like, this
I
is
mean, maybe
weird.
they have on occasion done like the dude who plays the Sixth Doctor. He was a guest character in a Fifth Doctor episode, and then famously Peter Capaldi was in the Rome episode, and
Yeah, they had
then
to do a whole thing about it to make sure
yeah, and they
we
actually
knew
made that
about
part
it.
of his character that he turned himself into that dude to never forget his responsibilities or whatever.
Ugh,
Like
such a stupid ass idea.
it was very dopey. So like, yeah, sure, why not? Maybe Nakuti will turn into Rory Williams
That
and be
would be
like, "Why
funny.
am I Rory this time?"
I would enjoy that. All right, well, we're gonna get into it. I
Yeah,
forgot
gonna hit
these
play, and it's
episodes are so short too. It's only 24 minutes.
yeah. It's kind of a quantity thing though, because it's like they're short, but overall there's like 700 episodes of OG Doctor Who,
That's
like of these
crazy.
20-minute ones.
That
Yeah,
is
I
crazy
think
in of
across like
itself.
150 something stories total.
Hmm. All right,
So a long.
you ready to get into it? This won't have any ads. We're watching this over on Archive. If
Yep,
you
yep.
need to know where to find it, there are plenty of places out there where that has it. And yeah, I don't. We'll do this, and then we're gonna roll right into new Doctor Who,
Yep, we're gonna jump from this right into the new Who of it all.
new Who of it all. All right, in three,
Three.
2, 1, play.
Oh, here it comes. Now the OG theme
It's
still
still the best.
rules.
Yeah, still the best theme.
Yep, love that they. I think we talked about this with the last time we did this classic. I love that they brought it back for Day of the Doctor.
Hmm.
They just played this as is before that episode, which is incredible.
God, I miss when Doctor
Oh.
Who used to be. I know. I know. Well, I'll talk about this until until they eventually bring Stephen Moffat back. But man, I miss when Doctor Who used to be cool.
Yep, yep.
I
Though I will say this episode, I feel like will not be the finest hour because it's still so early enough that the Doctor's not quite defined. So there actually will be similar to Nakuti in these episodes, a lot of bumbling and kind of being a little surprisingly ineffectual.
but you got to give
Um,
it to that because it's new. They're still figuring things out.
yeah, they're still working things out. And yeah, by the time I really want you to get to the second and third Doctors because that's when he kind of that those are like the prototype for who the like the Doctor you know and love, where he's like tricking people and doing daring do with his sonic screwdriver.
Ooh,
Got some cavemen on this soundstage. Um,
that one's clearly wearing like a mustache.
yeah, yep, got a fake one of them Groucho Marx mustaches. Now, not to already bias you against this episode, but famously, the pilot had like incredible ratings,
Mm-hmm.
and then these next three in the story kind of bored everybody, and it started to drop, and that's why the next story they bring in the Daleks, and that became a big smash hit.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
because the original idea for Doctor Who was that it was going to primarily be like a magic school bus kind of thing, like it was going to teach kids about history, but then that bored people, so they're like, you know what, let's alternate between that and like ones where he's fighting aliens and stuff. But hey, we're getting some caveman drama.
You can't magic school bus. You magic school bus is already magic school bus.
Yeah.
I had a
Hard to.
this is gonna be the biggest tangent or just the biggest swerve away from Doctor Who ever. But
Oh, go
I
for
had
it.
I one of the guys I'm working with right now. I was
Yeah.
in a call with him yesterday, and he started singing the Arthur theme song, just because
Hell
he was
yeah.
just kind of thinking about it, and I was like, and he was like, I was like, did you ever see the finale? And he was like, no, I never did. And I was like, that show only ended like 2 years ago, right? And I blew his fucking mind. He could not believe that
That had been
Arthur
on the air
had
since
gone
the
on for
90s. Only ended
25.
like a couple years ago.
Yeah, he went and looked it up and everything. He was like, this has been on for 25 seasons. And I was like, yep, only ended about 2 years ago.
Yep. And had a pretty nice finale, as we've discussed.
Yeah.
It got me as a nostalgic dude who was watching Arthur on PBS. Um. Yeah, yeah. It got me. Um. Speaking of, Classic Who famously was rerun in America a lot on PBS. So I think I never watched it in that form that much, but I do remember seeing like Tom Baker episodes while flipping around.
Interesting.
But it did not do enough to like keep me on the channel for very long. But yeah, it was only till Eccleston that I was like, oh, this rules. Like I'm a fan for life. Yeah, they're all knocked around the TARDIS because of the time antics. It will be kind of about face coming from this era to like Belinda, this new companion, because lady companions in this era would scream a lot
Yeah.
and
Oh
wilt.
yeah.
So I think get ready for some of that. Barbara has some good episodes coming up though. Like there's a good one, The Aztecs, where she tries to affect change and she's in history, and the doctor's kind of arguing with her about it. That's almost like a proto, like what the companion doctor relationship will be, going forward. But takes a little bit to get there. For now, she's going to be, I think, screaming and crying a lot in these episodes.
Do you think they're ever gonna
She has
like?
nothing on Susan for screaming and crying. Sorry, what?
I wonder when they'll ever stop beating around that bush and finally address that whole I have a granddaughter thing, or I have and
That was like the worst part of the Nakuti era is that they made her return a big red herring, which was like, well, why even bring it up if you were just gonna fake people out? That's so
yeah, like
lame.
vaguely remember that.
Because it turned out like, oh no, Susan, it's not Susan, it's Sutek, which is that thing Russell T Davies likes to do. He is so pleased when he can like do the I am Lord Voldemort thing where, oh,
Yeah,
but if you rearrange the letters, it actually
dude,
meant this.
funny enough, you know how I was talking about Rodriguez yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
The reason why was because I watched a video somebody did that pretty much it, which is a place I really recommend. They do commentaries on videos. They post highlights of their commentaries on YouTube, and they were doing a highlight of "We Can Be Heroes," which is a Shark Boy and Lava Girl pseudo sequel, but it's also
Yeah,
Justice League. It's
yeah,
very
he did a new terrible kids movie with CGI, like he
yeah,
likes to do. But
but in that what was I talk? I just totally lost. What were we talking about before? Remind me. Why did I mention that? Why did I bring that up? I have old man
Doctor
brain.
Who, the if you rearrange the letters, it
Oh
turns
yeah,
out to
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
something else.
So in that movie, the it's an alien invasion, and the kids like have to go hide out, and they're doing like sleuthing, and they find out that a bunch of adults were changed, were secretly aliens, and they
Also,
go,
it's the faculty,
yeah.
but which he also directed, but for kids. That's kind of cool.
So one of the aliens is the president, and his name is
Mhm.
like Imani something, and they literally bring it up on a PowerPoint presentation. They're like, oh, if you change these words, Imani, whatever his last name is, it spells out I am an alien. And they acted like that was the biggest revelation at all, that the president had a secret name that when rearranged turned into I am an alien.
Yeah, so Russell T Davies, his skills are about on par with Robert Rodriguez because he pulled that last episode in the cartoon ep. He did the like, oh, it actually the sign changes to Harbinger, so because he was one
Lord.
of the Harbingers.
I don't dislike that cartoon in that. Like, I do think it's a good concept. I do kind of like at first you can't really tell if the cartoon is bad or good either.
Yeah,
Like he's
nice when
acting
he
like he's
figures out
lost and he's
he
given like
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
big sad eyes and stuff. Like I really liked that part. I just wish the cartoon was in it. And not but just 10 minutes of the whole episode.
Yeah, I wish there was more of him, but yeah, actually, that's one of the better Nakuti moments when he's like actually putting together that he should be suspicious of him, and like the music stops when he
Mhm.
stops
Yeah.
pretending to be sad. I also like that he calls him a clever old coot because I like reminders that the doctor is a very old man.
Yep.
Um, oh, but he's amazed that it stayed a police box.
Oh, was the doctor amazed at State of Police Box?
Yeah, yeah, he's like, huh. So this is the first instance of the TARDIS stay in a police box. Because remember, he was hiding out in the junkyard last episode. So the police box was like supposed to just be the natural chameleon hiding for the TARDIS, but yeah. This is the
Oh,
first
yeah.
time he's like, huh, the chameleon must be broken. The chameleon circuit, that's what they call it. Oh, geez. Comes some cavemen. Oh, they're just playing with garbage in the dirt. That's great.
It does very much look like they're on just a beach.
Yeah. If that, they just brought sand over like how the one Beach Boy would do that. Brian Wilson, maybe? He was the one who would like fill his piano room with sand so he could feel the beach between his toes while he was writing Beach Boy songs.
What would it even disguise itself as at this point? What, a boulder? I guess just a
Yeah,
big
I
ass
guess.
boulder.
Or like a brontosaurus skeleton, like the Flintstones. I don't know. Yeah, I guess either
A boulder
there
or
were
a
some
cave, I
cool ones,
guess.
huh?
A boulder or a cave, I guess.
Yeah, I remember a spin-off, either a Big Finish audio or a comic or a book or something. One of the rival Time Lords, I forgot if it was the Master or one of the other ones, but he his TARDIS disguised itself as a pagoda in ancient Japan, which was kind of cool looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the prehistoric TARDIS would look like if the chameleon circuit was working. Oh, and this doctor smokes, by the way. If you can
Wait,
see,
what?
he
That's
was
weird.
lighting
I
up
don't
a
know.
pipe.
I don't know if I like. Well, I guess it's a pipe. It's an old man eat. It's an old timey
Yeah,
one. If he was just smoking a big old cigarette, I'd have a bigger problem with it.
yeah. If he was just had a big like mobster cigar, it was just yeah. Yeah, man, I remember this episode had a lot of people getting like cracked on the head and taken back to the caveman place, and then they get saved, but then get a different one gets cracked on the head and taken to the caveman place. So get ready for that. Also, again, Susan, who is a Time Lord, is just fallen to pieces here. Just having a real freak out.
Yeah, they didn't bring Susan back.
This actress who plays her is still alive and down to come back, and I'm kind of like, better hurry up, guys! Like, stop just making it a fake out and just do
Yeah.
it. Like, have her hug Nakuti, and the tinkly music will play, and all the fans will get choked up, and
And
it'll
if
be
you need
great.
it, just have her regenerate.
Yeah, you can turn into Margot Robbie.
Sure. Sure.
Or the freaking Menorah girl. I don't know, somebody. And I mean, like, you don't have to, but again, you brought it up, so now people want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird to just like
And people love it when
play
that
head
shit
games
comes
about
back.
it.
Well, I mean, people loved it when the Master came back. So
Yeah. Like, oh, that's a rant I can go off on with the Jodie Whittaker era. How like Moffat brought back Gallifrey, but then Jodie Whittaker decided to like undo it because it turns out that the Master blew up Gallifrey or something.
hmm.
Because I guess the
Is
Chris
that how
Chibnall
that
was like,
works?
oh, huh?
Is that how that works? I honestly don't even remember. Because I mean, that is a big part of the Moffat era is them bringing back Gallifrey. I didn't realize it got
Yeah,
blown up
they
again.
But then, yeah, he redid it, or he trapped it in a something forever. Like either way, he did it in such a way that, yeah, like how last episode Nakuti can now say like, yeah, I'm the last of the Time Lords. Like we can do that shit again
Mm.
forever.
Which is kind of interesting because, like, as far as I know, that's not new. That was not how Old Who worked. There were plenty of other Time Lords, weren't there? Kicking about.
Yeah, yeah, and they would like call him over, and it was always kind of cool because like you sort of see the ways the Doctor is and isn't a Time Lord because he's got an independent streak and actually cares about people. But he also is kind of full of himself, which is a very Time Lord pompous kind of thing. So
Right, right.
it was always cool seeing him on Gallifrey because he was just another dude. Like it was kind of humbling for him.
See, that's the kind of Doctor Who I'd be. That's the kind of old Doctor Who I'd be interested in seeing because that does
Yeah, and
sound
that
really fun.
we'll get to that at that's basically I think the end of the second Doctor is when they really bring in Gallifrey, and then by the fourth Doctor they actually set up, they have the robes and the funny hats, and they're always like bureaucratic and jerks. I don't mind him as the last of the Time Lords. I actually thought that was a totally good decision for the new series, and like the way they like would hint at the war with the Daleks and all that.
Yeah, but at this point, it's been resolved. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I do think
Yeah,
it was a good way to go at the beginning of New Who, but I don't know if it's a good thing to keep doing in more current seasons because, like that well was very well plumbed, in the Moffat era.
totally. And I totally liked Day of the Doctor as the resolution to that arc.
See,
That he was able
exactly,
to
you and me both.
like,
It's just, yeah.
yeah. But then I guess they decided to flip flop and be like, nah, let's kill them all again during the Jodie era so he can be by himself again. And it's like, that's you're doing it one two now that we're just flip flopping. It's no longer cool. It's kind of annoying.
Right,
Just
yeah.
like I liked when he was the last of the Time Lords. I liked it when they undid it, but then redoing it again is like one too many.
Yeah, and it just,
Where-
I don't know. Doctor Who is not a status quo kind of show either. Like,
yeah,
it's constantly doing different things.
totally. And yeah, I feel like wasted opportunity to just kind of
That's one of the
uh
reasons why the Moffat Christmas special for this year works really well because they just put the Doctor in a fucking flat for like a year, and he has to go the
him
long
living
way around.
in like domestic bliss with that lady
Yeah,
was so good. Some of the best Doctor Who and some of the best of the 15th era so far. Like that was all great. And yeah, man, this is like how in Tenet era he's like I'm the oncoming storm. He's all this legendary, shrouded in mystery dude and ultimate power. But here he like is just kind of cracked on the head, and he's just like rolling around, surrounded by cavemen. He's not the man he would become.
not the man he would become. How long does the first Doctor? Does he just get a season, or is it does he get a couple of
He
seasons?
got like 50 episodes of this length, I think, across like 5 or 6 seasons, but half of them are missing. So we'll actually get through his era fast, unless you want to do commentaries over the audio that survives. But I feel like that would not be very interesting, and you wouldn't know what was going on.
Is he?
Yeah, so we
Does
actually
he
only have
tangle
like
with the
25.
Master, or is the Master an older?
The Master came in the third Doctor era, but the first Doctor has the meddling monk, who is his Time Lord rival.
Ooh, okay.
And the monk is cool because he's not like pure evil like the Master. He actually wants to change things for the better, but he does meddle too much in history. So like it's a different dynamic that's kind of cool. And they play more like gentle pranks on each other. Like he steals his TARDIS's thing to trap the monk in the past or whatever. Like it's uh, not as wicked a rivalry, but he's cool. They should bring back the monk.
Yeah. See again. It's so strange that Doctor Who plays cautious with that kind of stuff when the whole point of the Time Lords is that you can recast them whenever you want. Like, it's
Yeah,
kind of crazy that they just haven't found a new meddling monk, you know?
yeah. They haven't really wanted to because yeah, there's like besides the Master, there's a bunch in the old series like bad or rival or other Time Lords. There's the Ronnie, who's like a lady who's like very cold and just wants to do her evil experiments on people. And there's the warlord who likes to kind of do like secret war type stuff. Like he takes people at a time to see the effects of different soldiers fighting each other.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. And then, of course, the fourth Doctor had Romana, who was a time lady who hung out with him, was his companion for many episodes.
Oh, see? That would be fun, wouldn't it? A new Time Lord lady companion.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess they kind of
And
got
and,
that
and
with River Song, but you know.
but it was a cool dynamic because she was like not totally down with the Time Lord stuff, but still more stuffy than him. And they actually, of old companions, probably have the closest to romantic chemistry because they were like, yeah, if they're both Time Lords, we can like go there without any
Right,
like
right.
iffy, yeah, iffiness. So no, it was cool, and yeah, I'd be down for more Romana. Bring
See, that would
Romana
be a
back. Why not?
cool. I know this is the romantic in me talking, but I would be very down for a Doctor Who season that's like a couple. You know, the Doctor finds a new lady love and they
Yeah,
travel the stars together and there's that kind of romantic interplay between them.
yeah. I know there's a Jodie Whittaker comic where she hangs out with the Corsair. If you remember that character, we never see, but is a
Vaguely,
big
yeah.
part of the Doctor's life episode because his arm with the tattoo is a plot point. And in the comic, it's Jodie Whittaker Doctor plus the Corsair when they were a Lady Regeneration, and they're kind of flirty in that comic. So there's
Eh,
that. Because I believe Matt Smith says the Corsair always kept that tattoo through all his forms, and her a couple of times. She was a bad girl, which is
yeah.
something.
Where I remember the companions for the Jodie Whittaker weren't that bad, right? There was a couple, wasn't there? Wasn't there? Oh no, just
It
the
was
husband went, right? The wife died, right?
Yeah, it was Graham, I think was his name, and he was like an older dude who I really liked, and yeah, he was a widower, and his like stepson who kind of had a love-hate relationship with him but loved him deep down was like the main guy.
Yeah.
And then Yaz, who eventually falls in love with the Jodie Whittaker doctor. I remember liking those. Like I totally liked that companion dynamic. Like the four of them was kind of cool. Um,
I think that's one of
but
the biggest sins of the Russell T Davis era is I don't think any of his companions are very good.
let me think
There's
about that. I I totally like Donna. I do think Donna's a little overrated because it's the people who love Tennant that are like her and the Doctor are so cool and she should never have been memory wiped. And I'm like, but that was like the tragic conclusion to that character,
right,
and then they
right.
undid it. And I always liked Martha, and I kind of, but it always bothered me that Martha was used to like explain that Tennant could never love her because he was still in love with Rose, even though Martha is like smarter and competent and like cooler
Yeah, and
in like
cooler.
every way. Yeah, so that always bothered me that Martha just existed to like talk up Rose more.
Yep.
Um,
Precious Rose.
but of course, if you count Wilf as a companion, he's like one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
That's where I do defend the Tennant era, is that I do think his regeneration ep is like top tier. It still hasn't been beat to me. With him and Wilf, and him sacrificing himself nobly, which again they undo in the 14th episodes, because Wilf gets to see the new Doctor and be like, "Oh, I love you, you're back," or whatever, and it's like, we always got to undo anything with consequences.
Yep.
So they're talking about making fire, and they've like
Sure. What
trapped the
else?
old.
What else would cavemen be interested in but making fire?
And there's some kind of interplay because there's like a bad caveman here who's like fighting with this village elder lady about how to. There's like a power struggle going on, and they're both like they kind of want the doctor because he's like they in their caveman ways are like, oh, you're the elder of your tribe, you're gonna help us make fire. And
I
now
can
they've
see
been
why the
captured.
Doctor doesn't do cavemen episodes very often. I
Yeah,
can't
because
remember if there's any cavemen episodes in New Who, but
um I think if there is, there probably is, but it's probably in like those Matt Smith episodes where he would visit a lot of times at once to pull off some trickery.
Yeah.
Like it would probably be part of like a montage more than anything. I know there's like some barbarians in a Torchwood episode where time starts going wacky and they show up in modern day Cardiff and start like stab people or something.
Hmm.
Oh, but here they are screaming because they're against all them skulls, and that's where we end with the ladies screaming.
Yep. That was Doctor Who.
Yep. Again, man, you can. We got 2 more episodes of this story, but you can kind of see why they pushed the emergency Dalek button after this story, because
Yeah, man.
that was not the most exciting adventure for the Doctor.
Was there even let me ask you this. Was there, cuz you know the dialogue a little bit better. Was there any actual like educational stuff being dropped in that episode? Cuz it was
I'm not
supposed to
actually.
be as Magic School Busy, right? But like I didn't actually hear them say anything really about like about about cavemen or anything like that. So
I guess we learned that fire was very important to cavemen. That's about it. I don't think there was actually a lot of like educational talk, so maybe that was just an excuse. I don't know.
I don't think there was a lot of educational talk to
Yeah,
be
yeah, I think
completely honest with you.
you might be right. They were just like, yeah, but it's educational because cavemen teaches kids how it was in the past. I guess. But yeah, we weren't like getting stats on the screen or anything.
Yeah.
Um.
I'm just saying
Anywho,
we know Miss Liz would have given us some information.
yeah, with the frizz, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
With the frizz.
yeah. Please let this be a normal field trip. With frizz, no way.
Yep. I haven't
But
seen it.
also, yeah, because the first Doctor is like a prick, and he doesn't want to help them, like, and just wants to kick them back to their time and continue on his adventures. So, like, he's not explaining anything in a cuddly professor kind of way. There is more educational content in some upcoming ones, like they do a French Revolution one and like a Crusade one, and those have a little more blah 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 about the past.
Are they just visiting in those episodes, or is there an actual like alien threat or something to it?
So, the first 2 Doctors have a lot of what fans call historicals, which, like this one, have no aliens. Like, they just wind up at the Crusades and have to, like, bumble around and, like, befriend knights and stuff to get home.
Gotcha. So these don't really have like an actual. So a lot of these don't have like an actual, I guess, threat to
Yeah,
them, or like it's mostly just,
yeah.
oh, we ended up in this time and we have
Yeah,
to.
there's like a bad caveman or a bad knight or whatever, but yeah, like there's no alien or other worldly sci-fi threat in these. And then yeah, from the 3rd Doctor onward, they pretty much get rid of those.
Gotcha, and it's more
I
just
think
like, hey, there's an alien here.
I think one of the Jodie Whittakers they did do a full historical again for the first time in like however many 50 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, there was one Jodie Whittaker that I think was just historical and didn't have like a sci-fi gimmick. And that was kind of like a throwback, like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we actually did one of? Even though they completely gave up on those after the 2nd Doctor because they were boring. But like,
Oh,
just for the novelty, they were like, hey, why don't we do it, again? Since
that's
um,
funny. All right,
but
well,
anywho, yeah, yeah. So it's gonna be rough going. I'm excited for us to get to the 2nd and 3rd Doctors because that's when it starts feeling more like the Who you know and love.
yeah. I
But
really
either way,
which one is the one that is it the fourth Doctor that has the Big Finish audios that I've listened to quite a bit of, or was
oh,
it
that
a
was the eighth.
later the
Yeah,
eighth
yeah.
Doctor? Yeah, I'm
Because
a
the
real
eighth
fan
Doctor
of the
only
eighth
had the
Doctor.
one TV movie
Yeah, no, I'm a real
that was
big
supposed.
fan of the eighth Doctor. I quite
Yeah.
his audio books were some of my favorite. His audio dramas got me through a summer of spinning a sign.
Yep, 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 yep. I remember you would just listen to them with little buds while you were doing your thing.
Yep.
Um, and that episode is awesome. That little short they do, Night of the Doctor, where they show how he regenerated into John Hurt.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is really good.
Yeah, that's actually a rad one. And see, that's one where I'm like, hey man, like next time have the Doctor turn into him instead of David Tennant. Just give all of them the opportunity
Yeah.
to
Hey, man. He said he'd revisit some old faces. So you're on a time
yeah, yeah,
crunch technically.
do them all.
All right, you ready for New Who? Doctor Who season 2 episode
Yeah,
3, The Well.
I'm hitting restart. I've clicked on it.
All right. This one will
I'm
have
gonna turn
ads,
it.
so we will probably talk during those ads because we are watching on Disney.
Yes.
I'm not
And as
going
soon as this,
to.
I'm watching an ad about a cowboy, but as soon as it's over in 40 seconds, geez Louise, we will
That's how they get you.
jump right in. Yeah, the Cootie Doctor episode 3 of season 2. Oh well.
It's funny because even though I was a religious Doctor Who watcher, um, that just kind of stopped once the Jodie Whittaker era started. Like that is such a blind spot for me. I don't think I've seen maybe even half of those episodes, which is kind of crazy in and of itself. Because I was really
That is
excited
kind of wacky.
for female Doctor. Like I really wanted that. Like I really did think that was a rad way to take it
Yeah,
and
I was
something
into it.
new.
I like Jodie Whittaker as the casting choice. I've liked her since Attack the Block, and she was in a very memorable Black Mirror episode. So I was like, oh, that's a cool. She's got the sci-fi credentials, so
Yeah,
that's cool. Um, but yeah, man, Chris Chibnall, creator of the first 2 seasons of Torchwood, he's like one of my least favorite Who writers ever. So when they announced him as showrunner, I was kind of like, oh god. And
yeah.
I tried to keep an open mind, but man, he does not agree with me.
I would say for the most
Um,
part, I don't think Russell T Davis agrees with me either. I'm sorry, all you fans out there, but like I don't think that guy quite gets. Well, you know what? I will say this: Doctor Who is subjective to anybody. I shouldn't say he doesn't quite get Doctor Who because everybody has their own kind of version of Doctor Who.
it's more like you're not jiving with what his vision of Doctor Who
Yeah,
is, I guess.
but his vision of Who and my vision of Who are very different. It's kind of like
Yeah.
how Star Wars is. Like I feel like with a lot of people we've talked about this as the two people in the world who love Last Jedi. Um, I think what a lot of people
The
think,
Filoni people are like so happy, and they get to like pick references to the EU and be like, "Oh my god, they brought back Cad Bane or whatever." And
yeah,
I'm like, "Yeah, you enjoy that, man. It's really not my thing. I don't."
exactly, yeah, I guess that's just sci-fi to a whole, because you get the same thing
Mhm.
with Star Trek and all that whatnot. But like just his version of Doctor Who doesn't jive particularly well with my version of Doctor Who.
Yep, agreed. But anywho,
Are
so
you
I'm
ready?
paused. Yeah, we're paused at 0. We got 49 minutes and 36 seconds to go.
Yep. All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
The BBC.
I do love their logo.
They do have a cool logo, and I'm glad that Disney did not put the little castle in front yet. All right, they're still wearing their badass 50s clothes.
I guess I do kind of like the premise that they can't get home. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and again, since we just jumped from the first Doctor, that's their initial thing is that they're like, Doctor, you gotta get us home. And he's like, I'm trying, man, but this TARDIS sucks. So, like, there's at least some of that, which is enjoyable. I think I do prefer that to, like, a Doctor who can always get exactly where he needs.
Right, right.
Yeah, but I don't mind it, because obviously Matt Smith, could usually get us to where we wanted to go. But,
Well, he was in love with his TARDIS too, which always did make it
yeah, and
better.
she explains, yeah, when he's mad at her, like, you never take me where I want to go, and she's like, but I always take you where I need to go, which is the most beautiful line ever, because you're like,
Hmm.
whoa, like, that explains 50 years of Doctor Who, with the TARDIS being finicky, but also always ending up where he can save the day. Your mom can whistle at my behind.
Ah, Nakuti's so fucking good, man. It's really a
He is.
shame that he isn't getting more of a chance to shine, because that is such a good Doctor Who casting.
Yep, and I love this, like, his doctor being this mix of like flirty, but also like your best friend, but
Yeah.
also like he's keeping you a little bit at arm's length.
Yeah,
I don't know,
exactly.
but they don't really play into it that much because again, he doesn't get to. Let's hope maybe this episode he'll get to save the day. Let's do the let's like
I'm
keep
hesitantly
count.
hopeful.
And if you know about what they're gonna do in this episode, there's always a human race.
You voyage out there and own it, man.
That's something I've always liked. The doc, as Doctor, he's seen all of time and space, but humans are his favorite.
Yep.
I do. That's always very touching to me because he thinks our moxie is so impressive.
God, he's so fucking good. It's so. Oh, it's a toxic too. Yeah.
Yeah. Which plays in the second Russell T Davies ep. Russell T Davies likes that song. That's cool. I'm liking their Pacific Rim outfits.
If they fight kaiju's, man.
Yeah, they're getting into the drift of
Has the
getting their
Doctor who
Jaegers.
ever fought kaiju's?
Yeah, there's some episodes where there's a fourth one with the Loch Ness monster, which is portrayed as like a big Godzilla-sized thing and smashes some buildings. Trying to think. Torchwood had a very cool like demon monster called Abaddon, the son of the beast, referencing the beast from that Satan episode of Doctor Who.
Oh yeah.
And he's like kaiju sized, and he like had a cool gimmick where you die if you're in his shadow. So as he's wandering around, like if the people running and screaming get caught in his shadow, they're like get their life force sucked out. I thought that was kind of neat. And then they kill him by like Captain Jack just feeds him, like I guess overfeeds him because he can't die and he explodes. Oh, they're doing Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah.
There goes Henry Cavill doing the free fall.
Wait, now they're doing Dune Part 2. Shit with
Oh, yep.
the
And Sardaukar floating around or whatever. I kind of missed what this thing he's carrying around is. This
It's the
like
thing that like is helping them get back home. They have to keep
Oh,
taking
okay.
readings to get back to Earth.
All right. It's like
It's like a
an
fishing
antenna
hook.
for
Yeah, some kind of fishing
information.
hook thing.
Okay, that's kind of neat. So it's like half beacon, half like it gathers the right coordinates or whatever.
Yeah.
Even though it looks like a vacuum and an electric guitar. Oh, directed by Amanda Brochi. Good job, Amanda Brochi. Hey, the psychic paper.
There we go.
Oh, I do like her getting kind of into character. Uh-oh. Imagine I don't know anything about this. That is like the best Christopher Eccleston line when he's on Satellite 5 and he's like asking the people and saying like, "Where am I?" And they're like, "You're on Satellite 5." And he's like, "What's Satellite 5?" And they're like, "How can you be on a place and not know it?" And he goes, "Look at me, I'm stupid."
Yeah.
That's a wonderfully Ninth Doctor line.
God,
Oh.
this could be any sci-fi show ever.
Yeah, it
I
is a
don't mean to.
little.
I don't mean to be mean, but like, it's just, if I
Yeah,
wanted
they're
aliens, I
wearing
just go watch Aliens.
Pacific Rim suits, Halo suits, Prometheus suits. Yeah, to your alien point.
There's a colony. It's gone dark. They've been sent to investigate.
Yep, the spooky black. Yeah, this is just the original Alien, essentially. Yeah, or Prometheus or Covenant or whatever. Yeah, dark, rocky, abandoned facility.
Well, just like remember, I don't mean to remember. Remember when Moffat does soldiers and it's a whole like religious thing and it's fucking weird. Even though they're all in like normalish outfits, they're fucking weird from the start and they're yeah.
Yep. I've always loved their his like papal church
Papal
based like
church
future
military
that Moffat
people.
does. Yeah, where they all got their like where some of them are like bishops instead of generals is like the new ranking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all rad. And yeah, kind of unique as opposed to this, which is just the reconnaissance mission, and they're wearing their suits. They're kind of badass looking suits, but
They are cool
still,
suits.
they do look very Halo Dune, the GI Joe retaliation or whatever. Not appropriate to call me babes. Okay. Uh-oh. Don't touch it. You're gonna get. And I've seen this movie. You get infected. Well, if we got Spider-Man versus Predator, there has to have been Doctor Who versus Xenomorph. Or do you think it's too violent for that to be a crossover?
It would be cool to see the Doctor deal with something like that
Something
violent
bloodier. Well,
because
that's what like. Go ahead.
he'd be like, "Oh, you're beautiful," and then he'd have to watch it in horror do something horrific, right? But he would be utterly captivated by it at first, right?
Yeah, you'd probably be like Ash from the original Alien, where he's like, I admire its purity.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess on paper that's what Torchwood was supposed to be. Like, oh, cool, a branch of Doctor Who that can be adult, but it just most usually sucks in execution,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Some exceptions. There are
That was
good
always the
Torchwood eps,
reason why
but
I loved Matt Smith's era. One of the reasons why I loved Matt Smith's era is because he was constantly like surprised by what he was seeing. Remember in the Minotaur episode where he's like basically sweet talking that thing? He's like, "You're
yeah.
bloody gorgeous."
Yep. God, one of the best Matt Smith moments in A Christmas Carol when he sees the little fish floating in the sky.
Yeah.
Like they're hanging out by the streetlight, and he's like, "Oh my God, floating fish! Look at you, little beauties!" And he's like touching them with his fingers. It's like that sense of wonder that I feel like often is lacking in New Who.
Exactly. I think that is one of the reasons why I like Nakuti because he does at least he's always having fun, right? Like he's always
Yeah,
like he's always intrigued by what he's seeing, you know?
yep. And you can see it on his face. He's really good at performing. Like he's a doctor who's genuinely always excited to be in a new location,
Yeah.
which is I feel like you need. So yeah, that's definitely a point in his favor for this era. All right, so far this is a somewhat proactive 15th Doctor episode. He's
Yeah.
kind of leading the charge and bluffing his
He's
way in.
opening the door.
Yeah. So there's hope. He might do something this episode.
You kind of like the look of this place too.
Yeah. No, it is very alien to your point. Like more the outside of the planet, but now that we're in this abandoned base, it's kind of cool looking. Oh dang!
Okay, so they've got like a. That's interesting.
Like an auto subtitler.
That is a nice touch. The doctor just going into.
The sign language.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. 500,000 years in the future, and signing still makes people
I
paranoid.
didn't even think about signing does make people paranoid. That's kind of
Yeah,
that
man.
kind of blew my mind just a little bit right there. I've never thought about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's a bummer, man. But yeah, the doctor's helping out by actually signing. Why don't you stop flapping your hands around and talk to me? That's from There'll Be Blood when he's talking to his deaf son at the end and being a jerk about it. Well, she's not. She hates her job, man. Relatable.
Yep.
Oh, come on. Don't do it though. She's possessed by an alien or something.
This is we finally got something cooking here.
I
I am
know.
enjoying this quite a bit.
As am I. This has been a pretty good ep so far. Let's see. They do got half an hour to gunk it up, but I'm keeping optimistic right now.
You know, you know we've probably never talked about it on commentary, but you know how I feel when the doctor's like I can speak baby or horse or something. It always bugs me. I do like that he can speak sign though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, but that's just a regular language. But you don't like it when he jokes that he can speak baby or horse.
Yep.
But I've never minded it. I always kind of liked that in the Matt Smith episodes, especially because usually most companions wouldn't believe him. They'd be like, "What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What?"
I hope that I like that it's always slightly ambiguous whether he can or not.
Yeah, or if he's just fucking with him. No, don't leave her alone with her. She's gonna like a freaking face hugger is gonna come out of her mouth or something.
I don't know why you would need to tell her that. That's kind of mean. You didn't
Yeah.
need to reopen. You didn't need to reopen your thing.
You didn't have to share with it. All right, add one.
Add
But
one.
so far, so good. This first
Yeah,
commercial
you know
break.
what? I'll give Doctor Who that. It's been very good so far.
This has been solid.
I do think
Now,
I think that I am glad they finally gave Nakudi like a hey, this is a team of people episode. I do
yeah,
think
like
that
the
helps.
angel, like the angel two-parter with Matt Smith, where he's
Hmm.
leading the troops or whatever. Yeah, it's been a little bit. I always like when Doctor Who, like what I always liked is how when it would feel like a mini movie because they would come to a location and there would basically be a full cast for the episode, of
Yeah, yeah,
supporting
yeah.
characters. Yeah, yeah. And usually they would get picked off one by one, et cetera, et cetera. But
See, I
like
thought that was
that
what
was
I thought that was what was going to happen with the first episode. But that's part of one of the reasons why I didn't love the first episode is because it kind of just ends really fast. Like they get to the planet. Wait, was that Brendan Fraser's narrating Sea Lions of the Galapagos? Oh,
dang. You get better ads than I get.
I'm back by the way. Just let
I
me
was getting
know.
like a trip planner. I have till 10 seconds till I'm back.
Okay, just let me know when you get when you're back.
Yeah, I'm watching people working out on ESPN. The Green Bay draft begins tonight. Okay, I'm back.
All right, I will press play. But yeah, that was one of the things I didn't like about the first episode is that they kind of imply there's going to be a team because he goes to the rebels, but then like Belinda just fucks off, and then the rest of the episode happens in that throne room.
Yeah, they confront the gross robot boyfriend, and then it's over. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
felt
well, I
really
wasn't that
short.
crazy about that.
Felt like a
Yeah, that
really
first episode didn't do much for me.
yeah. I was like, man, this feels really short for
Yeah,
reasons.
for whatever reason, yeah, it was not. It just zoomed by. That's sort of
Mm-hmm.
what's bothered me about that stupid like I don't trust you runner with her because she gets over it so fast, and it's also just like barely introduced before it's gone. I don't know.
Right. Well, it's just like how that one rebel dude doesn't like her, but then at the end is like, oh, we're gonna name it after you, or we're gonna name. Remember, he's mean to her at the beginning, and then it's cool with
Yeah,
her by the end. And there's not really
yeah,
anything to happen between there that would make the change plausible, except that they defeated the bad guy.
yeah. I guess that's it. They defeated their oppressor or whatever, the gross looking robot boyfriend.
Sure.
Hey, wait a minute. This is just like that Tenet episode with the Satan pit.
Yep.
It's another evil hole. And also, T. Davies didn't even write that episode. He just show-ranned it. I believe these are called Base Under Siege stories, a classic Doctor Who episode type.
Drought sharks.
Ooh, see? That stuff's cool. A bit young to be fighting drought sharks, I agree. Brutal.
Ooh.
Stupid name for a planet. Dang, they're shit talking the Earth. That's my home. You, you keep my planet out of your goddamn mouth.
So times a changing.
Yep, clearly. Oh, they don't know what Earth is.
What?
I don't even know what I was supposed to be
Yeah,
looking
what
at
was
there.
that supposed to be?
He was just sitting there.
What do you think you
Oh,
saw?
okay. She saw something we didn't.
I didn't see nothing. Better not be them farting aliens.
Oh, that's your guess for what I'm talking about? 'Cause, yeah,
That's the only thing I can really
listeners at
remember.
home, I was spoiled about something returning in this episode, and now Tanner has to guess what it could be. And I the only hint I gave him was that it wasn't something he would be that excited about. My guess, but who knows?
Farting aliens.
It is the farting aliens. You guessed it right. Or the space babies and the booger monster. They come back.
Ugh. I forgot about the booger monsters. Are they not
Dang.
humans? I guess they're something else.
I think that's actually something the second episode of Russell T Davies, the second Christopher Eccleston episode, End of the World gets into, where it's all the aliens coming to see the world finally get over eaten up by the sun.
Yeah.
Um, and we meet the last human, Cassandra, who's that scary skin lady, like stretched out on
Yeah.
the
Right.
thing,
Right. Right.
and she's talking with Rose, and Rose is like, "So you're the last human?" And she's like, "Well, technically, I'm the last pure human. The rest of my race mingled, those stupid mongrels. So
Oh
like."
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And Rose kind of tells her off, being like, "Nah, man, they did the right thing. They changed and moved on with the times, and you're stuck a weird thing of skin on a sheet." So I guess that's the idea, is that these guys, I guess, are not technically humans anymore because they've intermarried with aliens over the years.
Oh, okay. I saw it that time. Did you see it that time?
No, I still
There
ain't
was a
seeing it.
monster peeking out from behind her.
Ooh, I wish I didn't miss it because I was yakking.
It was very,
What did it look
very.
like?
I don't know. It was just kind of
Or
dark.
at least, oh, it was like a scary shadow.
Yeah.
That's a classic monster from lumberjack folklore, the hide behind, which you can never see because it's always hiding behind a tree. Hey, don't distrust yourself, man. Come on, Belinda. He saw something. He's lying. Now I'm just looking real intently because I don't want to miss it
Yeah.
again. I was making this poor lady like do a spin for him.
See? Did you see it?
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah. Something.
Had like maybe a weird black crab hand or something. These guys trigger happy. They're gonna go nuts for no reason.
Yep.
Man, leave me alone. It's very funny. I don't know. He just like soldiers with guns. Hey, hey, knock it off. Go away. Vaya, de aquí.
Nope.
Nope, I got an ad for Instacart. I want to see Brandon Fraser talk about sea lions or whatever.
There's some kind of Galapagos, sea lions of the Galapagos, and I swear it said it was narrated by Brendan Fraser.
Wish I was
Oh,
getting
here it
that
is.
ad.
Okay, hang on.
Oh, you just
Sea lions
got
of
it?
the Galapagos.
See, I'm just seeing this Instacart order.
Only on Disney Plus.
I'm seeing Old Spice now, man.
Narrated by Academy Award winner Brendan Fraser. Sea lions of the
Cool.
Galapagos.
Hey, good for him.
Good for him. All right, let me know when you're back.
I got like 40 seconds left.
I know. I figured maybe you'll get the sea
They're giving,
lions.
they're giving me more ads, maybe because I'm your guest. I don't know.
Maybe you'll see the sea lions of the Galapagos.
Nope, I'm seeing ESPN again. I just want trailers for like movies and TV shows.
Well,
That would
didn't
at
you
least make
remember?
my
Wasn't that always the greatest thing about Disney Channel? Like, you never watched the actual advertisement that wasn't Disney related. You know what I mean?
yeah. Disney was so strong as a force in the world that yeah, it didn't even have to advertise other things.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Him, isolate him.
All right, I'm good. I'm pressing play. I miss
Huh.
that about. I miss that. I bet you Disney Channel doesn't actually do that anymore, which is sad to
Probably
think
not. They
about.
probably have SC Johnsons and UPS ads or whatever. Yeah, man, shit's weak all over. Everything kind of exists like it did, but just it sucks a little more is the
Yeah.
vibe of the world. And I hate to say that because it makes me sound like a
No, it is.
cynical
It is
man.
very true though.
The proof's in the pudding. Even that Doctor Who has to be funded by Disney to begin with is a sad state of affairs. An extonic star, man. Ooh, a diamond mine. Like the chimps in that Simpsons episode. Mark Strong here is being a jerk. No,
Wait, wait. Are we back at the Satan pit?
no, this is Midnight, the one where the 10th Doctor's on a tour bus and the invisible alien possesses the lady and then him.
Oh, okay.
If you remember that classic 10th Doctor episode
No, not really.
where the people on the bus turn into jerks and want to like throw them both out the door. That's a beloved episode. It's like considered the best thing Russell T Davies ever wrote, and I'm like, maybe it is, but it's also several tiers under a mid-tier Moffat episode. Is kind of my take on Midnight, which I know is making a lot of 10th Doctor fans very mad because they're like, "How dare you? That's the best episode of the series," and I'm like, it's pretty good. But yeah, we're doing a sequel to that episode, which I don't think anyone was ever guessing would happen. Which I'm kind of iffy about because one of the things about Midnight that's kind of neat is the monster's very unexplained and we never actually see it. It just like possesses the lady and then possesses the doctor.
Right, right.
And it's mainly shown by like they'll shine a spotlight on your face to imply you're possessed. And I thought that was like because there are things I do like about Midnight. And yeah, one thing I like about it is that it's a very cool like low budget monster
Right,
idea.
right.
But I guess we're kind of friggin' with it by showing that like it actually appears behind you or something.
That's kind of interesting, though. I guess that
We're doing
we're doing a sequel planet episode. So there's one of the I don't know if you've ever read the Pendragon series, but the Pendragon series is about a guy who he basically goes across dimensions and goes to other worlds and planets. He's a teenager, and eventually you find out that like some of the planets he goes and visits are future versions of planets he went to previously. So he goes to
okay.
a world where everybody's hooked up to basically virtual reality, and the planet's slowly
Yeah.
dying because everybody just wants to be in virtual reality all the time. And then in a later book, he goes to another planet, and everybody lives on islands, and like they're trying to reclaim the world, and eventually he finds out that it's the same planet, but just thousands of years into the future. So I think that as a concept, going to another planet or going to the same planet but like millions of years later is kind of interesting. But I don't know. It's kind of interesting that they did it with that specific episode.
Yeah, of all episodes, but yeah, I kind of like revisiting it across time and seeing how it's changed up.
Yeah, we do that
Which
with
they
Earth
kind of
all the
did with
time, but you know.
yeah, which they did in the Tenet era because there was New Earth where they made it to like the New Earth, and then there was a sequel Gridlock where in the future New Earth has become like a giant Manhattan where it's all bumper to bumper traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not this. They have done a similar thing to Pendragon in the past with old Doctor Who. The Ice Warriors are kind of cool about that in the old series because they're a villainous race, but at some point in their future they give up and become peaceful. So sometimes the Doctor meets them when they're good, and sometimes when they're bad,
Right, right.
which is kind of cool. No, this jug-eared gentleman was trying to be nice, but yeah, that's right. It was a shiny diamond planet that there was like a tour bus for. And that episode's gimmick was that like it's one of the only times when the Doctor is trying to convince people they
Yeah,
don't believe him. And
that was the draw, right? It was the one time where like the doctor wasn't working.
yeah, like because all the people just like gave into their prejudice and didn't believe him, and basically
Right.
almost tried to throw him out the bus. Yeah, so it was kind of a like almost like those Twilight Zones where it's like, oh, the real monsters were were humans at their worst or whatever. Which is like again like not a bad episode. Like I think it's pretty good, but I do think like Russell T Davies fans like really hold it to a higher standard because it's like they point to it a lot to be like, see, he's just as awesome as Moffat, and I'm like, it's pretty good. It's just okay to me. But that he's doing a follow up is interesting, even though I don't know
Yeah.
if they're getting the most out of it uh, at this point. And they are kind of doing it again, I guess, because like these soldiers are giving in to their fear or whatever instead
Right.
of. So this is the monster the midnight creature is, I guess, for when you want to do episodes to show the bad side of humanity or whatever. Uh-oh. Man, just picking on this girl.
I know. Yeah.
Oh,
Oof.
you're just getting tossed around
So
by
is
an
it just an
invisible woman.
evil? So the midnight episode was an evil thing. It was just a formless entity that possessed people, right?
Yeah, that was it. And it like first it like copies what you're saying, like, and then it starts talking at the same time you talk, and then eventually it like overtakes you. Was the idea? As it like possesses somebody else. So yeah, it was like not this because it didn't actually have a form. It could only possess. But I guess now they're making it kind of like an invisible entity, which
Yeah.
or maybe it's a different monster on the same planet. I don't know.
Maybe, but I mean, it's similar-ish.
Yeah. So maybe it's a different species of evil monster. Like maybe Midnight's just full of different invisible creatures. But it seems like it's supposed to be the same thing, because Nakuti was saying, I met a monster so vile. I guess Midnight is full of different aliens, and they all feed on mistrust in different ways, is their thing. Can I come with you? No. Oh, that's sad. That's like when Homer wasn't allowed into the No Homers Club. What? Yeah, man. But you let in Homer Glumplet. And yes, I did just wait a whole minute to just do another Simpsons joke. But I was kind of getting into the drama of this scene.
Ah, I forgot that there were
Oh,
ads for a second.
got another ad. And again, it's for some kind of, like, it's not a movie or a show, which bums me out. It's for. I won't say it because I don't want to give him free publicity on this commentary. But it's like an H&R Block kind of company.
Hmm.
So, in other words, boring. I just want to see
You want to see the
Brendan
sea
Fraser.
lions of the Galapagos?
Yeah, I want to hear Brendan Fraser talk about the sea lions of the
Oh, but he
Galapagos.
doesn't talk in it. It's the regular Disney narrator. And then they're like, "Oh, but you can hear Brendan Fraser talk." Which
Yeah,
maybe have Brendan Fraser do the narration too.
yeah, he should be like, I'm Brendan Fraser. Join me on a journey to the Galapagos or whatever. Ugh. I'm watching a teeth whitening ad that's very weird. 'Cause it's like an airplane stewardess, and she's now just smiling at people with her new shiny teeth. Okay, this is a Disney World ad, so at least I'm seeing like
Let's
Joy
just
from
say
Inside
Disney.
Out, Pluto and Mickey, and it's like, all right, that's something. All right, I'm back.
All right, I press play.
All right, he's addressing the thing behind Alice Finley. Dang.
Ah.
I mean, I'd be getting kind of nervous if Kurigatwa was looking at me that intently.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like getting flustered, tucking my hair behind my ear, like,
Mm-hmm.
ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, you don't want to know. Ooh. Ugh.
Uh-oh.
That ain't good. Whoa, there's a thing behind the thing behind you. Uh-oh. Kill one of us? Oh no. Hey, this doctor's kind of doing stuff. He's
Yeah.
remembering something that he heard earlier and is using it for a plan.
Thank God.
Yeah, come long enough. But yeah, he's doing stuff in
Yeah.
this episode, coming up with a plan. Go go go! And hey, running in corridors. This is an old Doctor Who staple. Oh, they better not show it.
I wanted to see it.
Okay,
It's not bye
that's
bye,
cool.
man. Don't see it, don't show it.
Yeah. Well, they at least showed the Doctor looking freaked out by it, so it must be pretty bad if it's scaring him. Aw, good job, everybody. Wait, did they only help four people? They only put four people in
Yeah,
there?
she said she wasn't leaving them behind.
I would have thrown a couple two people in there
Yeah,
though. Been like, hey man, we're working on it. But I guess I'm gonna guess somebody's gonna sacrifice themselves nobly,
probably.
and so this episode can have a body count.
Dude, invisible enemies just. I'm sorry, it's just not very interesting visually, right?
Just an invisible entity? No.
Yeah.
And
I
again,
know
in Midnight, it was.
Oh, go
Sorry.
ahead. No, you go
No,
first.
you first. You first.
Well, I was gonna say I know as the found footage horror guy, I'm kind of the world's leading expert on a plant is moving in the corner, but like I don't know, man. It's still not very interesting.
Oh, it's not quite as exciting, and it kind of has like this fart, like wind blowing effect, and they get knocked around. It's not super compelling,
Yeah.
which is a bummer because yeah, Midnight was cool because it at least did the spotlight thing, like it would shine on your face when the alien was gunning for you,
Right.
and that was like cheap but very effective. Whereas I don't find this like kind of invisible force field effect that cool. um, yeah, so I think they should have kept the spotlight gimmick. That is funny because I guess they got to spend money to make a really cool looking set by not actually having a monster. So
Yeah, exactly.
that's neat. At least we got a cool Halo world out of it.
Oh, you know what's gonna happen? I already know what's gonna happen. They teased us, David.
You're guessing.
They teased us.
Ooh, the torso. Oh shoot! They're gonna shoot her. If I shoot through you real good, you'll be in a lot of pain, but we'll kill the hide behind.
Yeah, see, she's gonna sacrifice herself to take it, and the doctor's not gonna be able to save her. So again, it's an episode where the doctor don't do much. And now this lady has to die because he can't figure out how to save her. Which again,
I'll
boo.
give it. Yeah, I'll give it to this episode. I think that's too harsh.
May I
That's
guess.
And that's also a very Russell T Davies thing, is the Doctor inspires humans to be better. He's the man who makes people better, and
Yeah,
often
but
characters will sacrifice themselves for the Doctor in a Russell T Davies ep.
damn, what world did she live on? Look at this world that she lived on. Is it
The
just constantly on
Wildlands.
fire?
Is it just a forest fire planet? 'Cause that's kind of cool and horrible.
I don't disagree with you, but also it would be nice to see the Doctor save the day properly. Is all I'm saying.
Look, man, he saved 6 out of 7 people for a Doctor Who
That's a
episode. That's actually a pretty
95%.
good. Those are pretty good odds, because usually it's just like the companion and 2 other dudes survive an episode. So he did a good job.
Sure.
And now I'm watching it's an axolotl.
Maybe you'll finally get your sea lions of the Galapagos.
I don't think so. No, now I'm getting chicken sandwiches, which look delicious, but still not what I'm here for. God damn, none of these are movies. It's really starting to bother me.
I know it's
It,
it's bothersome, especially for Disney.
why aren't they trying to sell me on Andor or whatever movie they got coming out this year? What's the next Disney
I have
feature?
no idea. Like you said, Andor, man.
I guess Thunderbolts. I could be getting Thunderbolt ads,
Yeah,
but
or
no.
Thunderbolt. Yeah, man. Like you said, the times they be a changing.
Yeah, man.
All right, mine's is ready. Is yours ready?
Now it is. I'm back to breathing heavily. Belinda's like breathing heavily. Simulating. Yeah, I bet she's gonna be like, I don't like traveling with you no more. Getting shot sucks. Hey, he's being a doctor. That's something.
Yeah. It's definitely the best of this season so far. It's definitely the best episode.
Probably.
But
No, no, definitely.
we're only
Actually,
three
sorry.
in. But
Yeah. So far, yeah, this is the most solid. Yeah, they could be selling me on live action Lilo and Stitch, Elio, or Tron Ares. Those are some upcoming Disney
yep.
movies. Instead, I'm seeing freaking Wells Fargo or whatever. And she's still hung up on there being no more Earth, but like, when the sun expands, the world's gonna end, man. Like, that's what happens. Yeah, R.I.P. Troop Leader Shia for helping sell all those Girl Scout cookies. She won the wilderness patch.
Oh my god, this woman. Why does she keep appearing?
The mysterious Mrs. Lady or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a few seconds behind you, so I'm like, oh yeah, Mrs. Flood, right? That's her name.
Wasn't she in the last season as well?
Yes, and they never explained her.
Yeah.
And she was in the cartoon episode at the end, being like, "Oh, wait for the grand finale."
She was in the first
When the
episode as well.
TARDIS disappears, yeah. I don't care who this lady is. Maybe she's Susan. I don't know.
Or maybe she's the master.
She seems more evil than Susan, so yeah, the Master would probably make more sense. Or maybe she's the Ronnie, the evil time lady from the old series.
Oh my god, that invisible woman is going to pop out. Oh god.
Probably. And this is when the killer comes back for one last scare,
Yep.
as Scream says.
Yep. There's something behind you.
Wait, is there something behind you? No, it's not been defeated. You better bring back its spotlight next time it appears.
Wait, we just
Ah!
wait.
Oh, Ruby's back next episode.
I
And
thought they
she's dating
couldn't
the
get
dude.
back to that area.
I guess they made it home, and she's gonna get married to the dude from Companion. And
Was
oh,
that
there's a
the
xenomorph. Okay,
was that the dude from that was the companion dude, wasn't it?
he does. I don't think it's. He looks like him, if nothing else. The dude from
Oh.
Novocaine. That's now our hot new star.
I mean,
And we are getting the Doctor meeting the xenomorph.
that was a
I'm kind
that.
of bummed that we're back to present day Earth so quick, but
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was the whole point was that they couldn't get home.
nope, we're back. We're back home pretty quick.
Oh. Yeah, I mean,
So okay, could have been worse.
it
That
could
was
have
an
been
alright
worse.
showing.
I think it was all right. I will give it a meh out of meh. I didn't hate it.
Could give it a mad meh.
I didn't hate it. I didn't particularly like it. And I would very much like to see the Doctor, because he didn't really do much scienceing in that episode either. He just was kind of like, well, we're all just in a room looking. I could have
And his
enjoyed.
solution was, yeah, we'll just shoot some pipes and run. But hey, he was a little more heroic.
Yeah.
And the midnight creature coming back a second time. It was an alright showcase for that thing this time around. Though, yeah, like you said, the invisible stuff was not super exciting.
Yeah, and it would have been nice to maybe see him like maybe once or twice, or at least once, to see the actual thing
Nah,
it looked at.
I don't think so. Because nothing would look that cool. I bet. Like,
But the alternative to that is it's just invisible and you don't see it at all. Like I don't like what's the I don't disagree with you that like your imagination, the age old your imagination is always going to make it cooler
yeah.
than what we show. It's definitely true, but like at the same time I found the fact that it was just invisible to be super boring and not a
Also, not to just talk up Stephen Moffat, but that Peter Capaldi episode, what is it, Hyde?
yeah.
Where he's like trying to figure out if there's actually a monster that has existed throughout all time and is your fear and you never see it, is like a much better version of this. Because that one's super like ambiguous, because like they see like a lump under the bed sheet and they're like, is that just a little kid or is that the monster? Have we finally seen it? And we never like figure out.
Right. Yeah.
That one's pretty cool. And then has like the ending where like Clara gets to like comfort little boy doctor under the bed or whatever.
Yeah, something to that effect.
Yeah, that one's basically this episode, but like again, because it's Stephen Moffat writing it, way more interesting.
Yeah, way more interesting and more compelling.
Yep.
Yeah, and again, it was cool he got to do one clever thing, but like the Doctor used to do a lot of clever things, and I liked it when he did a lot of clever things. When he was getting a chance to kind of flout it, you know?
We got higher than average for the Nakuti Doctor though, because he did get to have his fun with the psychic paper and like lie in his way as an authority figure, which I feel like the Doctor doesn't do as much as he should. I mean, I guess he kind of did it in the cartoon episode. He pretended to be a police officer, but it was pretty low, you know.
Mm-hmm. And everybody was super, super willing to work with him, even though they shouldn't have been
Yeah,
necessarily.
yeah, where they just kind of gloss over 50s racism,
Yeah,
just be like, they love this guy.
yeah.
Ah, Rosie, I love this boy, as Doc Ock says.
Mm. All right. Well, we double hooed today. I again, it's the best and definitely the better episode of this season, but it's not really. I don't know if that's really saying much given what we've gotten so far.
You might just love that cartoon episode because of how much I defend it, but I do think the cartoon episode had higher highs for me. I found Mr. Ring-a-Ding like more, even though he's only in it for 10 minutes, but I found him a lot cooler than anything that this
Yeah, I don't.
hide behind was doing.
No, I don't disagree with you. Again, that episode would have been really good if it was just him facing off against Mr. Ring-a-Ding and having to deal with that for the whole episode instead of being stuck in a film.
Yeah, and meeting his beloved, his loyal
Oh, I
fans.
hated that. You know how I. That's a
Getting to
whole
thank him
rant.
for all his years. That no, I'm with you. That I think that was the worst thing ever. It really
Yeah,
did not
I hated
enchant
that
me.
so much. Doctor Who has never needed to be a fourth wall breaking thing, and I find it
No,
really
no, no.
weird to imply that it is. And then what really annoys me about that is then they tried to make us then feel really bad about the people who were dying because they didn't exist. So they tried to
Yeah.
double dip because it was
And that came across very creepy because they so willingly die for the doctor. So I don't know. Like I said, it reminded me of the Omen. Like it's all for
yeah,
you, Damien.
it is super it's super weird. Yeah, I mean I would maybe say I guess Ring Ding definitely at least has like at least I can see the monster, right? And it's visually interesting. Like it's not that you can't do it's not like Doctor Who has lost its ability to do visually interesting monsters because that was Mr. Ring-a-Ding. So yeah, I might put some of the moments of the last episode above this episode.
This one was definitely the most like solid because like nothing in the script really bothered me. Thought it like told its story of mistrust well, and it built to a climax, and it was a cool looking base. So I do think I agree. This one was probably more like solid just all the way through than any of the
Mm-hmm.
other two.
Yeah, just a real just a real B, just a B. It's a very
We'll
B
see how the
episode.
return of Ruby Sunday and her schlubby boyfriend. I hope. I mean, we'll see because mixed run on Doctor Who boyfriends because he could either be a jerk like Belinda's or he could be the next Rory. Maybe he'll be a cool, shows his moxie and courage by the end or something.
A novelization of this episode was written by Powell and is due to be released on 10 July 2025 as part of the Target collection. What's the Target
Yeah,
collection?
Target is the brand that Target books, not related to the store Target that would always publish Doctor Who books.
Interesting.
But
Did they
yeah, and
just
then they've done
novel
novelizations of every single episode.
Wait, so there is interesting. So there is out there a is it like a collection? Like or is there a book for every episode? I can't imagine
There is a
there's
book for every episode.
there's a
Yeah, yeah.
book for every episode.
Rockledge High had a bunch of them, and they were listed to be destroyed, like because they have to legally do that. And I was kind of like pushing for the librarian, like, "Yo, man, can you like just give me all the Doctor Who novelizations you have in the library? Because I want those." And they were like, "We'll see," and it never really came to anything,
That
unfortunately.
is crazy to think that out there are there's just you could pick up a book of every single episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah, and they're like Goosebumps length books. Like they're not super long, and they are just like the episode. But yeah, you could potentially read Doctor Who before you watch any episodes and still know the story.
I wonder if they're any good.
I remember them being okay. They're kind of like much like your Gone in 60 Seconds novelization. I think they're probably written on that level. Like,
Interesting. Interesting. I'll have to go. I might have to go find some of my favorite Doctor Who episodes
yeah,
and
yeah.
read
See how
them.
they go in the written form.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. I greatly
Likewise.
enjoyed Doctor Who, and if you listeners at home, if you'd like this to continue, let us know. I'm always down to who it up with.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
very
potentially down to watch if it works out. Yeah, either next week or the week after. Maybe we'll start semi watching this new season as a duo.
yeah.
Well,
I'm down.
knocking some first Doctor out.
Yeah, do an episode of the
Yep.
first Doctor, then do the new Who. I'm down for that. I do kind of
Probably a
want to get
stronger
to.
showing for Nakuti than William Hartnell this time, because William Hartnell got hit on the head by a caveman and was just like on the floor for that episode.
I do kind of want to get to those second and third like Doctors and see like a little bit more Time Lord stuff because I am interested in that, and I kind of think that Doctor Who should kind of go back to that era a little bit. I think it would have really worked with Nakuti as well
We can
because
burn our way through all 700 episodes of Doctor Who. OG.
yeah, it's kind of a shame because I really think that would have worked well for Nakuti given how much personality he has. Throw him against some other
Yeah,
Time
him
Lords.
wrestling against like some stuck-up Time Lords. I feel like that would have been a good dynamic.
Yeah.
But oh well, we'll see what happens with old Nakuti. If this is his last season, perhaps, because I know that that's the current rumor is that because of Disney having to like foot the bill for Doctor Who these days, they might do another cancellation, be like, let's try again in 5 years, which would be sort of sad, but like I don't know, Doctor Who will always come back. I feel.
Yeah, I was about to say I would be sad, but at the same time, I mean, just the era of Doctor Who that I loved is kind of dead at this point, except for
Yeah, because we're
occasionally
kind of living
Moffat.
through just RTD playing the hits. It's kind of like how the Rolling Stones still tour, but
Yeah,
it's just
it's just not the same.
just
That
the
magic's gone, you know.
the memory of better times is what we're coasting on a little bit.
Exactly. All right, man.
Anywho,
Well, we're gonna cut it here. I hope you all have a great rest of the night, and we will see you all in the next one.
enjoy everybody. Saltburn next week.
Yep,
Mwah.
Saltburn next week.